involved in this case. Representative Braley joins us live from Capitol Hill this morning. Thank you for being with us, sir.
Great to be on the show, Alex.
Tell me what you would like done. What are you asking for?
Well, I've served on the Oversight Committee in some capacity since I was elected to Congress, and our committee has the jurisdiction to look into these very troubling allegations against NewsCorp and find out whether any federal laws were violated, such as the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which prohibits U.S. companies from bribing foreign officials, or other types of criminal violations. And one of the reasons this is so important is because Congress has important oversight responsibilities to make sure that these laws are being followed.
Let's say you found something wrong, and I certainly don't want to presuppose the work of the committee. What would that mean? What's the implication?
Well, when we do any type of oversight, the whole purpose is to get to the bottom of an issue and make findings that can be followed up by law enforcement officials, or if congressional action is needed in response to those problems, to propose some type of legislative solution. But right now, the biggest issue is getting to the bottom of this evolving scandal and make sure that there's accountability.
Congressman, how do we know how's this going to go down on political lines? The chairman of the committee, Darrell Issa, is definitely an activist as a member of Congress. Have you heard back from him? And what's the response from conservative and Republican members of Congress?
Well, we'll have hearings today in the Oversight Committee, and I will certainly be talking to the chairman and other members of the committee. But, Allie, when I was a journalism student shortly after Watergate, we were taught that the bedrock of journalism is accuracy, objectivity, and ethics. And one of the things we've seen is a blurring of the distinction between reporting, the news, opinion, and political advocacy. Now it appears that NewsCorp is getting into the field of political espionage or personal espionage, and that's one thing that we need to be very concerned about.
Yeah, but you can see how this could start to go down political lines, right? With Fox having certain conservative commentators and analysts, it might start to go down the lines of Democrats, more Democrats already calling for investigations into Rupert Murdoch and News Corporation, and fewer conservatives, right?
Well, but Chairman of the Homeland Security Committee in the House, Peter King, a Republican, is very concerned about this. He mentioned the fact that 150 of his constituents died during the attacks on 9/11, and the possibility of them having their voicemails hacked is of serious concerns to all Americans without regard to political party.
Now, he's called for the FBI to look into this as well. Who do you think is best equipped to handle this? If everybody gets on board and says somebody's got to look into News Corporation and what it's done in the United States, should it be the committee? Would you rather it be the Department of Justice or the FBI?
Well, I don't think that those investigations are mutually exclusive, because Congress has a responsibility. It's based on the Constitution to conduct oversight of these types of violations. At the same time, these law enforcement agencies are set up to pursue criminal investigations. I don't think that our moving forward on an investigation will jeopardize that investigation in any way.
Have we got a record in the United States of actually following up on investigations that possibly are breaches of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act? Because as I was saying to Karen earlier, it's not something we hear much about.
Well, in my first term on the Oversight Committee, we did hold hearings into a variety of different things that were happening in Iraq as part of our rebuilding effort, and we held hearings to look into those types of violations. So when we find evidence of wrongdoing, we refer it out to law enforcement officials for follow-up, and I would expect that to happen in this case if wrongdoing was found.
And in the last few years, the Justice Department has looked into violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act against companies like Siemens, Alcatel-Lucent, Johnson & Johnson. So it isn't unheard of. We just don't hear about it a lot. Congressman, thanks for joining me. Good to talk to you.
Good to be on the show. Thank you.
Congressman Bruce Braley of Iowa.